A black tie. That's what I saw, Taurus, when I felt the energy behind your cards for this week. Now, your cards are interesting because we've got the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is relationships, and that's kind of going to be the central theme for your reading. Now, what does the black tie have to do with any of this? Well, ties have to do with just being formal, right? Like a black tie for a suit is very official, very formal. And so Two of Wands, relationships can also be very official, very formal, and some people like that. Some people like the formality, like we are boyfriend, girlfriend. Some people need labels, right? But what we have next to that is the Fool and the Four of Pentacles. So there's almost like, these are opposites. Four of Pentacles is, I need a label. I need to know what we're called. I need to be boyfriend, girlfriend. The Fool is saying, I don't want to be tied down. I don't want labels. I don't want to have any titles attached or any attachments at all. So there's definitely, maybe you're vacillating between these two, okay? So maybe Taurus, you guys are wavering between, it's like, oh, do I want something formal, stable, or do I not? Am I not ready for that? Let's pull more cards and find out. Next card. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is actually giving relationships a shot. It's giving anything a shot, giving anything a try. Let's see what else. Eight of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Hierophant is very funny because notice how it came out right next to the Four of Pentacles. Hierophant, the Four of Pentacles, is being very traditional. It's being very, very traditional. And then in between we have Eight of Pentacles, which is the how. It's like, how do we have a relationship that is somehow both, right? It somehow is both traditional and free and open. Maybe it's like, because yeah, how would you have an open relationship that's traditional? Is that even possible? I'm not sure. That would be by definition not traditional. So this is the dichotomy. This is almost like you're juggling opposites. Maybe this is a thought process for you, or it's a thought process for somebody who is tied to you, Taurus. All right. On the bottom is the High Priestess. This is something that's very much internal. You're probably not talking about it with anybody. This is like your own internal juices flowing, considerations. Either you're thinking about this, or it's like you're percolating on some level about this. All right, let's pull oracle cards, see if we can find out more information, and then we will pull advice and see what the best course of action is. You know, maybe you don't need to be quite so formal. I am not a fan of propriety, personally, but I could see how some Tauruses might be a fan of propriety and things being traditional. I could see that for Tauruses. Let's see. Any other information, please? Any more information for Tauruses? Okay. That card flipped. Jupiter reversed. Jupiter reversed. Hold on. Jupiter reversed is either too much or it's just like something that you didn't want, right? It's like getting coal. Actually, that is literally coal. So it's kind of like saying, again, it's like it's vacillating. Am I gonna get stuck with a relationship that is not something I wanted? Jupiter reversed is not a blessing, is a misfortune. Basically, it weighs me down. It detracts from my life instead of adds to my life, and it's coal. Is that what I'm gonna get stuck with if I choose the traditional relationship? You know. Let's see what else. Yeah, Scorpio and Taurus. Man, you guys have been burned before. You guys have been burned before, because look, that's you, Taurus. And you've been burned by being, I think, traditional. You've been burned by being traditional because it's showing up in the same position as that Hierophant showed up in the last spread. So you've been burned before, and now you're thinking like, how do I engage in a relationship that adds to my life and doesn't take away from my life? Maybe you're not even sure how to do that because you are so traditional. And then the last card is the Mask. It's like you like to have things clear cut. You just want things spelled out. You just want things spelled out, but you haven't figured out what that spelling out is just to have it written out. And that's what we're trying to figure out. On the bottom is the book. You haven't quite figured out what the optimal relationship for yourself is, because it's like you don't want to get stuck with a relationship that is like, you don't want to get stuck with a shitty relationship, but also you don't want to be a complete fool, like the Fool card from before, and have nothing, or just have flighty relationships. You're trying to figure out something in between. All right, let's pull advice and see what that in-between thing is, or maybe you're overthinking it, right? Could I have advice for Taurus? Advice, please. Advice. Advice for Taurus. Temperance. Ha! Talk about the perfect card to be the middle. Temperance is the middle way. There actually is a middle way between a long-term relationship, marriage, right? There is a road that is somewhere between marriage and a totally open relationship, or like a friends with benefits, or like just sleeping around. There's a middle road, and that's what Temperance is suggesting. Excuse me. Let's see what else there is. 10 of Wands with the Hermit. You're definitely overthinking it. You're definitely overthinking it, because the Hermit is almost like trying to plan for every detail, trying to figure out everything before it happens, right? Well, what am I going to do if this happens? Well, you can't plan for everything. You can't plan for everything. So it's like, well, what if the relationship goes bad in this way? You can't plan for everything. That's what this is saying. Yeah, look, 7 of Cups is, there's no way to know. 7 of Cups, there's no way to know the future. There's no way to know every little thing. There's no way to plan for every little thing. It's impossible. And the 9 of Cups, it's like, meanwhile, while you're busy wasting time, like trying to figure out, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I go here? I've got these 2 possibilities, and you're like overthinking it. Meanwhile, you're missing out on something. You're missing out on 9 of Cups, which is that middle road. If you had just stopped thinking and taken the middle road, you don't have to act any particular way. Just act like a normal, act normal. I don't know. Act somewhere in between a slut and waiting for marriage, right? That's where you want to aim for. Between total slut and waiting for marriage. There's a middle ground. But you're missing all this overthinking. You're missing it. You're missing out basically right now. Let's see what we get from the Oracle. Any last advice here? Any last advice? Wow. The little things, the minutia, that's the mask here. The stupid crap that doesn't matter can get figured out as you go. It's like you don't have to have everything written out. You don't need to have a contract when on your first date with somebody and be like, this is our contractual relationship, how our interactions are going to be for the next 10 years. You don't need to hand somebody a 10-year contract on how this dynamic is going to work out. You can kind of address issues as they come. That's the hammer with Scorpios. Like, something comes up, it's going to be minor. First of all, it's going to be minor because it's the mask. The mask is not major. It's just something that's on the surface. You can just change it out. So instead of overthinking this long-term plan, it's almost like I'm imagining somebody who has a pamphlet that says that they want to have 10 kids, they want to buy a house, and they hand it to their potential partner beforehand, and they have to sign. It's like there's way too much thinking, there's way too much planning. Deal with the small stuff as it comes. You can. It'll be fine. All right? And on the bottom is the Sun card. Take it one day at a time, but actually enjoy the day, because you're not enjoying the day. You're stuck on this formality, right? You're stuck on this formality. You're not enjoying the day. You're not taking advantage of what's potentially out there. And yeah, like I said, you can deal with the small stuff as it happens. All right, Taurus, that's it. That's your reading. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, all that stuff. And check out Patreon if you are interested in seeing more readings. With that, I will see you guys next time.